Good afternoon. Please welcome today's senior speaker, Krish Rangarajan.
I'm in my backyard. I set the scene in my head. I'm sure it sounds familiar. 2 outs, bases loaded, 3 balls, 2 strikes. I take a deep breath as my heart races. I waggle my thin, yellow wiffle ball bat and wait for the pitch. The pitcher gathers, kicks, and underhand flips it to me. I drop my bat, catch the ball, and flip it back. No, this is not how wiffle ball games went down in my house. Instead, we indulged in typical wiffle ball game shenanigans, throwing the ball at each other's heads, hitting windows, angering neighbors. But after spending 3.5 years in the Gilman baseball program, I've realized that maybe I should have been locking in on my underhand flipping skills. Hounds baseball is unique. Before every tryout, every practice, and every game day warm-up, we spend at least 10 minutes doing our flip and follow regimen. Standing in 2 lines, the first person line tosses or flips the ball to the first person in the other line, standing about 5 feet away. The flipper follows his toss, runs to the back of the line, and waits for his next turn. It's so simple that even Coach Sheets' lower schoolers could do it. Flips and follows bother me for 2 reasons. 1, they're boring. We toss a ball back and forth for 10 minutes. Us baseball players try to argue that baseball isn't boring and then do drills like these. The only exciting part about it is getting to yell flip each time you release the ball. My second reason is that flips and follows reinforce a stereotype that all other athletes have about baseball players, that we're unathletic. Each time we do flips and follows, I have to look over at Chan Lee and see the lacrosse players doing normal, athletic-looking warm-ups. This is terrible because if you don't know, baseball players and lacrosse players have a subtle bit of beef. We go back and forth on which sport we believe to be harder. And I will admit, it's hard to debate that baseball is harder when we flip and follow while they run sprints. All I have to say is that we hit a round ball with a round bat, while laxers catch a round ball with a butterfly net. I may have a slight distaste for flips and follows, but my love for baseball has taught me to appreciate them. Everyone has their thing, and baseball has always been mine. I started playing t-ball at 3 and never looked back. I played first base because I was the only one on the team who could actually catch the ball. My number for a long time was number 19, after Orioles first baseman Chris Davis, before the fall-off. I even perfected the splits so that I could stretch to every throw coming my direction. But when other players learned that the leather thing on their hand was meant for catching, I was forced to play other positions. However, I fell in love with the game again when I moved to center field and got to pretend I was my childhood hero, Adam Jones. The only thing I loved more than playing baseball was watching baseball. I would watch every game until my 8 o'clock bedtime and then sneak my iPad mini into my room to watch the ESPN play-by-play every night. I can still name the Orioles starting 9 from their postseason team in 2014, which was the postseason of the Delman Young game against the Detroit Tigers in the wild card round. He had a game-winning, bases-clearing double that sent the entire city of Baltimore into a frenzy. I was at that game with my dad, and we were so pumped about our Orioles that he and I decided to fly to Detroit for the next game. During warm-ups for that game, I remember a reporter approaching my 7-year-old self. He had a microphone and a cameraman next to him holding a camera bigger than me. He asked me something like, "How did you get here?" and stuck his microphone right in my face. I replied with silence. I literally said nothing. I was too busy hyper-focusing on team warm-ups. I had better things to do than answer questions from some random dude. I hope the reporter didn't take it as rude, but I was there strictly to watch baseball, not to be interviewed. The Orioles won that game 2-1, but ended up getting swept by the Kansas City Royals in the next round in true Baltimore sports fashion. That's a rant for another day. Even though I'm older, I still watch baseball like it's my job. If I'm not at home watching it on TV, I'm streaming it on my phone or listening to Gilman alum Brett Hollander on the radio. However, in all my years of watching baseball, you know what I've never seen? A team standing in 2 lines, flipping the ball back and forth. So why, oh why, coach Sheets, do we practice them like it's an Olympic sport? I can say that out of all the players on the team, I should be the last guy complaining about flips and follows. I play primarily middle infield, where a flip and follow is totally common when trying to turn a double play. However, for guys that play outfield, a flip and follow is completely unrealistic. But after almost 4 years in the program, I think I finally realized why we practice them so religiously. To me, the answer reveals what makes the baseball program and Gilman as a whole so special. It's the careful attention to detail to the little things. Baseball can get pretty complex. Confusing defensive coverages, hard hitters, fast runners. A lot goes on in the mind of a baseball player. However, at its core, the defensive side of baseball is a matter of throwing and catching. I believe that's why we flip and follow. To become automatic at throwing and catching on its smallest scale. To become automatic at the simplistic. If you can't catch and toss a ball from someone 5 feet away, how are you going to catch a 90-mile-an-hour ground ball and throw it to first? If you can't communicate with your teammate from that distance, how are you going to call for a ball when the pressure is on and the crowd is screaming at you? Flips and follows are easy, but they're important. Thus, I think they're one of baseball's many life lessons. I believe they symbolize the small, annoying, boring, seemingly insignificant things we can choose to do each day. Doing the right thing by being a first-class citizen. Acknowledging each other by saying hey. Supporting and showing out for each other. Thanks to Mr. Smythe for those who I don't think is here. But we all have unique flips and follows in our life that we either choose to do or avoid because they make us feel embarrassed or appear weak. They're little things, but little things affect the big things. One flip and follow of mine is to send a text of good luck to a friend before a game, or one of encouragement after. It takes just a few seconds, a few moves of the thumb, but I feel it's a great way to show my support. What I love most about Gilman is that we emphasize the little things. How we dress, although hoodies would be nice. How we treat one another. How we win with humility and lose with class. But just because we already do our flips and follows doesn't mean we should do them any less. And just because we already do them well doesn't mean we can't do them better. Be on time. Greet others with a smile. Express your gratitude. Take your plates out of the trash can. I challenge you to analyze the little things that you do or could do each day to make the lives of those around you just a little bit better. Whatever they may be, I challenge you to chase perfection at your flips and follows. It's clear to me now that flips and follows are about so much more than tossing a baseball back and forth. They're about mastering the fundamentals, embracing the small, everyday actions that build the foundations for success. They remind us that even the most minimal habits have the power to shape who we are and our impact on others. Whether it's on the baseball diamond, the halls of Gilman, or beyond, it's the discipline in these small habits that reveal who we are. So I dare you to become automatic at the simplistic, because in doing so, we set ourselves up to tackle the complex. Thank you.